And welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're jumping into the world of ANKR and specifically talking about the price action of this altcoin. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with that said, done out of the way, let's dive right down into ANKR and see exactly what is going on. So we're going to start things off with the weekly, guys. Just talk about how the bull run started back in March of 2020. Wave 1 up here was basically peaking in the 10th of August, sorry. There was a really slow sideways trade for Wave 2 before peaking up in the new year of March 2021 with Wave 3. Okay, in total, these three impulse waves, the five, equated to 34,240% in gains. That is really significant, guys. And to put that into context, we can of course have a look at Bitcoin through the same period. Only drove 1,600. Ethereum only drove 5,100. We had Cardano's ADA. I think this one drove 14,000%. VeChain drove 18,000. One Harmony drove 18,000. So it's really important that we acknowledge that ANKR has been a really good performer, specifically for our portfolio, getting in nice and early. Now, ANKR is fantastic tech, so if you're not familiar, I do urge you guys to do some research on it. It really is a bit of a game changer for blockchain technology for people who do not want to get too involved with the coding side of things, but do want to maybe become a validator or something like that, right? So do some research on ANKR. But overall, it's been a really good performer. Obviously, it was slow to get going, but once it did, it absolutely knocked it out of the park. Now, obviously, if you're buying ANKR at the top of Wave 3, you've had to endure this fourth wave correction, bringing us down into this really low area. Now, the good news is that seems to have been put behind us, and we have started to see some corrective action. And I'm going to get into that on the daily in just a moment. We do anticipate ANKR moving up to about 77 cents. That's about a 754% move from the current position. Overall, the stochastic RSI is in a pretty good position, ready to see that push back to the upside. Okay, so let's jump down into our daily. We'll just give this a bit of a zoom out and then make this a little bit bigger so we can see exactly what's going on. So here we're just going to focus in on the peak of Wave 3 and the low of Wave 4. Okay, so basically this is your current performance. And basically that performance, by putting a Fibonacci retracement tool on that high area and that low area, that then shows us with a 4.236 extension at 77 cents. Okay, it's going to be approximately in that area, in my opinion. Now, obviously, the other thing that's really obvious that we need to acknowledge is a cup and handle. Okay, so many of these altcoins in the space are showing a cup and handle pattern. This then shows us with a nice projection of where things are going to go next. Okay, so in order for us to work this out, we're going to go ahead and grab hold of our Fibonacci retracement tool, and we're going to put that on there. Right, so this shows us moving up to some real key areas. Okay, so I'm going to grab hold of a horizontal ray, and we're just going to mark up our target, which would be right there. Okay, so our target for our cup and handle comes in at 18.9 cents. Okay, so basically as we look to finish this cup and handle, we'll be projecting this area just here. Now, in this particular month of October, whilst we're pushing way to the upside, this is a key area for ANKR for a couple of reasons. One, it pushes past not only the 618702, but also that 786 area. Getting the closed candle just up here, preferably weekly, could be a big bull signal taking this to the next level for the month of November. Okay, so cup and handle aside, everything's looking pretty good for ANKR at this point in time. Okay, we are overbought on the daily here, but this is not a problem. This is something that we have seen ourselves be in for quite a few days prior anyway, and we can wipe that stochastic out without doing too much damage to the price. As we look to move on up, once we get past that cup and handle and get past the 786 at 18.1 cent, and move to our target of 18.9 cent for our cup and handle, we should be then looking at new all-time highs, and specifically talking about 32.3 cent. Okay, that 32.3 cent is our first 1.618 price target for ANKR during this bull run. So everything's looking pretty good, heating up quite nicely. Now, on the daily chart and the weekly chart, the structure is pretty good, and we can see this thing really moving nicely as we get later into the year. Now, as we jump down into our hourly view, this is where we start to see some of that volatility though. Okay, and where we've been quite frustrated with ANKR's movements quite recently, right? It's really easy to see it on the weekly and of course the daily, but when you're paying attention to the hourly charts, and maybe a little bit too much, you can get yourself a little bit scared or you know, a bit fearful over what is actually going on, because it's quite hard to see the bigger picture. But overall, we can see the stochastic bouncing around. We can see the candles moving around a bit as well. But we are progressively moving our way to the upside now. It's ever since we kind of formed the bottom of our handle area, as we found good support at 7.3 cent. Right now, we are battling a key area of resistance up at 9 cent. We're looking to push past that. I do think we have the potential here to push past 9 cent and then back test on that becoming a support line. That'll allow us then to grow up towards 10 cent. Overall, I think the long-term picture here pretty much stands, that we are talking about moving to 18.9 cent, but do expect a little bit of volatility. We won't be moving in straight lines. Instead, we'll be looking at moving around in kind of waves, if you will. Okay, so we'll be looking to progressively move our way to the upside in the same way that we've seen these kind of progressions that we've seen so far, right? And again, each of these also have little mini pullbacks inside them, right? Nothing happens in straight lines. Okay, so it's important that we be patient with this one, and we don't try to think it's going to get us rich in 24 hours to 48 hours, right? This is investing, it's not gambling. It's about investing in projects that have true utility and true use case, that people actually want to utilize the protocol. And in the case of ANKR, it is absolutely fantastic. So do some research on it. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Chris is not a financial advisor. There's only one person who's really responsible for your own investment decisions, and that is yourself. So do some research if you're unfamiliar on ANKR. But overall, I'm pretty bullish long term for the rest of this bull run, with us kind of peaking out towards that 77 cent area for ANKR. I think it has the potential to push to $1, but we'd have to see something that we haven't seen just yet, right? Something that hasn't been taken into consideration on the historical data just yet as well. So although all that being said, I do anticipate a pretty good run, some pretty good returns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good performer for the portfolio, 34,000%, much higher than that of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, VeChain, Harmony, and there's only a couple other altcoins in our portfolio that have actually outperformed ANKR. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 is another example of one of those projects. So overall, guys, I will leave it there. A nice short one for you. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.